And this is the president of the Microsoft Central and Eastern Europe, Mr. Don Grantham. Please, Don, join us here. Welcome again. I'm sure you will enjoy being here on stage as much as we'll enjoy listening to you on stage.
I hope so.
Oh yes, of course. So, let's rock and roll. Thank you very much.
Over to me, huh? Good morning again, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the break. As I said earlier, it's fantastic to be here in Porto-Roche and to be participating in such an important event. I was talking to some people during the break, and to know that this event has been running for 21 years, and the indications that we're getting is that the attendance at this event is back to the pre-2008 timeframes. So the level of interest and commitment to technology in Slovenia has never been higher, as indicated by you all being present today. A group like this being together to discuss how technology is shaping both business and society is happening. These type of events are happening all over the world, as you'll know. Those of you who are involved in multi-country business, cross-border business, international business, global business. There is no doubt that the digital transformation is with us now, and having the luxury of having 2 days to spend with like-minded individuals talking about how we collectively and individually can take advantage of how we shape our businesses to become digital businesses, and how therefore we can help society evolve in a digital world is a real luxury. It's a real luxury for us at Microsoft, and I hope a real luxury for you. I travel a lot in my role, and I do, as I mentioned again earlier, I get the pleasure and opportunity to talk to a lot of different stakeholder groups who are considering how technology is affecting their world. They're leaders in business, in government, and it's really, really clear that technology is at the heart, increasingly, of everything we do. These conversations embrace how technology can truly shape growth, how technology can be used to change and disrupt industries, market segments, how technology can help us be more agile and more competitive, and how to help us adapt to the changing workforce and expectations of the workforce as that changes in our world. The demographics today, the expectations of those demographics, the teenagers of today, looking around the room, I'm sure there are a number of you who have the pleasure of teenage children, and you'll appreciate that the way in which they live and grow and work is very different even to how we lived and grew and worked when we were their age. And that's just one indication or one symptom in a positive way of how things are changing. And as those demographics go into the workplace, the requirements of a successful workforce changes. And that's another area of opportunity and challenge and responsibility that we face. We have many dialogues about what it means to gain the next level of efficiency through automation, and how do we really mainstream technology as a platform for a digital business. And I believe our responsibility as leaders is really to be able to understand this opportunity and act upon it, become action-oriented, and make the choices that we need to make to ensure that technology helps us progress as a society. I think our responsibility is much broader than our own businesses, frankly. And I hope you all agree. We at Microsoft are very, very optimistic about what technology holds for us and what technology can do for us. And that optimism is embedded, I think Robert mentioned it in his talk, it's embedded in our mission. And our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And that sentence is easy to say, and I think it's easy to understand. And it's very satisfying and rewarding to think we can play a part in doing that. The way we think about this, we think about it at a global scale. We think about it through the eyes of our customers. We think about this in terms of what does this mean? What does success mean through the eyes of our customers, whichever customer type they may be? We think about building technology not only for the use of that technology itself, but so that others can use that technology to become even more competitive. So we look at this through several lenses. And that broad platform approach can only be achieved through the power of our partners and our ecosystem working jointly with ourselves at Microsoft. That's our strategy. Is, again, as I mentioned it earlier, we have a 600,000 partner ecosystem around the world, 40,000 in Central and Europe alone. And so our aim is that our platform approach ensures that our technology can be amplified in the market. And as I said, that our customers can deliver success through that approach. Now, we focus on delivering this mission in a mobile-first, cloud-first world. As I mentioned, my children are a little older than teenagers now, only a little. But I do recall them as teenagers, and I remember listening to the way in which they would interact. And at that point, it was a few years ago, so they were just finding the wisdom and the joy of texting, right? Any of you remember that? A few of you do, looking at I should be polite here, with the demographic of the audience. I think a few of you remember texting. I did speak to a young lady earlier who claimed to remember what it was like in the world without mobile phones, but I didn't believe her. I can remember that. Few of you can, I suspect, but the world is changing, whatever demographic you look at. But the world now is through a cloud-first, mobile-first experience. Users, whether they be consumers, small and medium businesses, enterprises, governments, and back to consumers who are consuming government services from governments, what we all care about is the experience. And the young lady who was talking about security earlier highlighted some of the experiences that can happen if we don't do due diligence in terms of how we implement a digital world. But our approach to this is to focus on three key areas. By creating more personal computing, by reinventing productivity and business processes, and by building the intelligent cloud. And more personal computing, in simple terms, in our mind, is ubiquitous computing all around us. And often we talk in the future tense. We say there will be more computing, not less. There will be sensors in everything. Every new home that gets built will have sensors in it. Every product that gets built will have sensors in it. There will be more and more small, medium, and large screens. And of course, then there's HoloLens and the whole virtual reality. And I touched on it earlier. I can remember what the world was like from a social perspective and a business perspective 35, 40 years ago. Just imagine what the world's going to be like in 40 years' time in terms of the use of technology. And it's going to be built upon these pillars. It's going to be built around personal computing being ubiquitous, embedded in everything that exists. Those of you who drive motor vehicles today, most of you, I suspect, they're computers, right? To a larger or lesser extent. So it's about the mobility of the human experience across all of these devices, across all of the computing platforms. And with the advent of Windows 10, and when we see that as a platform that transcends all computing, from the Internet of Things, sensors in everything, all the way to virtual reality and the HoloLens. In terms of reinventing productivity and business processes, our goal, we set ourselves a goal in Microsoft, is to help focus on things that matter most to the organizations that we work with. To help the organizations that we work with leverage communication and productivity tools for business processes. It's as simple as that. And in terms of the intelligent cloud, that's a reality today also. And we believe that now data is a currency. We aim to enable everyone to take on large-scale data and convert that data into intelligence. And so these three interconnected ambitions are really aimed to deliver digital transformation. And I think there are two key questions, and these are questions that come up in many, many, many interactions that I experience, and I'm sure they're questions that many of you ask yourselves, which is, how is business being changed by digital technology? And how is the core business model being changed by digital technology? And ultimately, I think we all have to start thinking and operating as digital companies. I'd say that differently. I'd say, in our experience, everyone is thinking about operating as a digital company. It's not about procuring and deploying one solution. It's really about thinking about the future of an entity and organization operating in a digital space. And we think about that and we refer to that as a system of intelligence, a digital feedback loop that brings together IT and OT. And when I say that, there are 4 things that come to mind. We think about how to engage with customers. What's the customer experience going to be in a digital world? And there are simple examples of this: digital marketing versus traditional marketing. How do you interact with the customer base? What's the customer experience? What does customer satisfaction look like? And how do customers become fans because they like the way in which they work with you? And you can weave into that social media. And how does social media play a part, again, with the different demographics in terms of creating a customer experience? Very, very, very different today than in previous times, and certainly very different in the future. How do we empower our employees? How are employees empowered in the new world? How do we think about talent? How do we think about skills? How do we think about productivity? How do we optimize operations? What are the new operating models? What ultimately are the new business models? And then within that, how are products transformed? How do they become a different value proposition to customers? I've got 1 or 2 examples I'll show you in a moment that we've experienced working with some of our customers that really illustrate that quite powerfully. But for me, that's key to this systems approach. It's not just about technology. It's about the combination of technology, people, and processes that organizations put in place to drive this transformational change. We're living it inside of Microsoft today, and we're working on that change management, if you want to simplify it, with many, 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 many of our customers and partners around the world. And what we're finding is this systems approach is the approach that's going to define competitiveness at the end of the day, the ability to change the landscape in whichever industry our customers are working. So technology can create sustainable advantage for customer engagement. I mentioned that earlier. You know, how do you reach customers? How do you service customers? How do you turn customers into fans? The first step in terms of personalizing this, and I look around the room and I'm sure everyone can at least do 2 things at once, but I see a number of you looking at your phones, right? I'm not going to call anybody's name out on the front row, but no, I'm joking. That was a British joke. No one laughed, but it was a British joke. But the world is changing. We're already reaching customers through mobile applications. And the next step is even more powerful than that. This is going to be conversations as a platform. It's about taking the power of human language and applying it much more pervasively through all our computers and computing. So it's a new NUI, if you like, a natural user interface that's going to unlock unimaginable possibilities. You saw the 2 comics with an early version of that. The guy with the helmet on earlier. That was also a British joke that didn't work. So, but it worked down there. But look, there are completely new interfaces with the way in which we're going to interact with computers going forward. If you think forward in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, even today, I was hugely impressed with the video that Michael showed in his introduction about the blind systems engineer and the technology that exists today to help him live differently. I mean, that was science fiction 10 years ago. Just play things forward in 10 years' time and think about what this natural user interface is going to do in terms of how we live, how society lives, how society evolves. So one example of this is the HoloLens. It's a notion of mixed reality that comes to life with a device that's reshaping how we architecture how we do industrial design, how we operate in many other fields of operations. And I don't have one to show you here and model on the stage, but I do have a video that you might enjoy. Why don't you play the video?
Look around. Technology is all around us. We use it in every aspect of our lives. It enables us to do amazing things. But what if we could go further? What if we could go beyond the screen? Where your digital world is blended with your real world. Now we can. This is the world with holograms. What will they enable us to do? New ways to visualize our work.
I have an idea for the fuel tank.
New ways to share ideas with each other.
How are things going your end?
I just put the images in OneDrive.
Perfect.
More immersive ways to play. New ways to teach and learn.
So put the new trap in the place of the old one.
Now what?
And tighten here and here.
New ways to collaborate and explore the places we've never been.
Look at this formation. Let's take a closer look.
And new ways to create the things we imagine. Because when you change the way you see the world, you can change the world you see. This is Microsoft HoloLens.
So, technology truly can transform our world. I mean, it's a pretty impressive video, even though it's one of ours. It just shows the power that is available today of the technology that exists. And in addition to that, technology can also empower our employees. It can empower our people to do their best work if you have the right systems and the right technology in place. Empowering employees through technology means, for me, using data and reasoning over data just coming from a variety of systems. Many of us work in business environments where there's no shortage of data, but the power is to turn that into information, to drive organizational insights, to drive organizational effectiveness, to enhance productivity and collaboration. There's an example, there's a shipping company, Bernard Schultz Ship Management, based in Cyprus, I believe, and they upgraded their core IT infrastructure with us to our Microsoft stack and also implemented our cloud technologies, Azure and Office 365 and others. And their drive was to lead their human resources to a level of enhanced collaboration, more effective and automated business process management, and to give real insight, real additional value and insight to their global business. And as a result of this, their employees can now work globally on any device, across any time zone, functioning as a single, productive, virtual team with common, easy access to their corporate data, and most importantly, the information that wasn't available to them previously. We've got another short video that you might find interesting. Why don't you play it?
Bernard Schultz Ship Management is the second largest ship management company in the world. We employ some 1,500 people ashore and almost 20,000 on board of more than 600 ships under our management.
In an organization like ours, where we operate in all time zones, in 25 locations. Without the right systems, we cannot really deliver whatever we promise to our clients. So in order to be competitive, we need to implement and adopt the very best systems.
Our previous IT infrastructure was disintegrated, difficult to scale and rather expensive to maintain, and the support from our technology provider was limited. As a result, the business was suffering from a lack of automation, poor data quality, low productivity, and inconsistent performance. With the help of Microsoft, we managed the change process without any disruption to the company's business. The reason to choose Microsoft was that the Microsoft people were very well prepared to listen to us and to our business needs before they started to develop and to propose solutions. At the same time, they had all the applications our organization needed.
Microsoft Services team is something we rely on pretty heavily because of the expertise they bring on various subjects. Because of our move to now totally Microsoft platforms, we have application side on Microsoft.NET, we have SharePoint on the collaboration side, document management side, we have SQL Server, we have Microsoft Exchange in Office 365. So in each one of these areas, Microsoft was able to bring their best consultants very quickly to us, and then who actually spent some time with us, going over all our issues, all our future deployments, and giving us very solid recommendations how to go about it. So they helped us with the full roadmap here.
Moving to cloud was a transformational change for us. By using those technologies, we managed to save on servers, electricity, other hardware, administration. We can now use those savings to invest more in our people systems and shape the future of the company.
Our cooperation with Microsoft will continue to have an impact on our productivity and efficiency and will support the company's future growth.
As he said, that's just one example of how technology can be used to support future growth. It's one of many. As I mentioned earlier, technology being used to optimize operations is another area of huge potential impact. We work with a customer called Ecolab, who's a leading provider of water management technologies. They create new ways to monitor and control the industrial processes on a global scale. Again, they're a global business. And they've been evolving their value proposition to deliver services based upon big data and the Internet of Things and linking the two. And they use machine learning, they use Cortana intelligence to proactively identify operational issues before their customers know about those issues, which is a value that they could not provide before they undertook this project. They use a dynamic CRM product to dispatch and manage field service technicians ahead of the customer, often knowing there's an issue to resolve. They engage with their customers through self-service portals. And as a result, they're exceeding their environmental goals basically through embedded business intelligence within their value proposition. So they're changing their business model, they're changing their operational model. It's another great example of how technology is truly transforming companies in a digital sense. Take a look at the last video that we've got.
Water, key to all life on Earth. But over the past century, population growth, urbanization, changing diets, and energy production demands have put stress on the world's fresh water supply.
Water is a real issue, and if we look down the road, which is fairly soon, it's in 2030, well, the demand is going to surpass by 40% the water that's available on Earth today. What I'm the most proud of, it's what our unique team is delivering every single day. Ecolab is helping our customer produce more with much less water and preserving this very unique natural resource that's so essential for life. What our customers truly want when they work with us, it's really to first and foremost reduce their water usage, but at the same time, they want to make sure that the product they produce is really becoming a better product. Microsoft Cloud is helping us get to the next level, scale it up, and really address much more issues around the world. Azure and IoT have helped us get much closer to our ambition to help customers operate at water neutral. And to get there, we need to collect massive amount of information. It's 36,000 sensors around the world. Thanks to Power BI, today we can bring all that massive amount of information into simple ways of visualizing what's the ultimate outcome for our customers and what are the actions that need to be taken in order to help customers operate better. Dynamic CRM, for us, it's all about profitable growth. And the good news for us is that the more water we save for our customer, the more we sell, the more we grow. We are collecting data from anywhere around the world. We're able to monitor, to control, to help customers produce better with much less water. With the app portal, our teams have everything in one place that can help customers manage water much better anywhere around the world in any industry that we might be serving. What truly impressed me with the collaboration with Microsoft is that it was not about selling us a product. It was addressing the world's water challenge together and really adjusting, shaping what's right for both companies in order to achieve our ambition. Ecolab is on a great mission to help the world produce more while using less water, preserving that very special natural resource, and ultimately providing as well access to way more people that do not have access to fresh water today, that they can continue to live and live in a better way tomorrow.
The three examples that I've given you, the way in which companies are evolving and changing and disrupting in managing their customers differently, in empowering employees, in changing business models. You've seen 3 short videos on that. The 4th topic I talked about was changing the value proposition, changing their products. And I'm sure you've all heard of a company called RollsRoyce. I'm pretty much sure that everybody in this room has used their products. Not suggesting that you all own a Rolls-Royce motor vehicle, suggesting that you've probably flown on an aircraft that has got a Rolls-Royce engine powering it. They have 13,000 aircraft engines flying, all equipped with sensors. And they continuously collect and monitor terabytes of data from these flights. And we spend a lot of time working with Rolls-Royce. And Rolls-Royce have created a value proposition that comes in the body of a software product that takes that data from their aircraft and from the performance data that they collect. They conflate it with other information that they have. And they turn that back into value for their customers, the airlines that they serve, so that the airlines they serve receive an even more efficient service model from Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce have transformed themselves from being a manufacturer of aircraft engines into building a software product that drives better engine performance, provides additional added value to the airlines, and fundamentally change the core product value of what they do and how they do it. So that last video wasn't the last one. This is the last one. So take a look at Rolls-Royce, and then I'll close out.
As an airline pilot, I know that to fly with the best, you need to work with the best. With over 13,000 engines in operation around the globe, Rolls-Royce provides the services to maintain them at peak performance. Today, each engine has thousands of sensors that can produce terabytes of data on long-haul flights. Making sense of all that data is critical in transporting my passengers safely and efficiently. Rolls-Royce uses Azure IoT Suite to analyze data remotely and deliver real-time, actionable insights to me and to the airlines about engine performance and operational efficiencies. Advanced analytics help us optimize fuel economy, anticipate maintenance needs, and avoid costly downtime and delays. A single unscheduled disruption and its knock-on effect to a fleet and the passengers can cost an airline up to $1 million a day. With early notice, our team can proactively have parts at the right place and time, reducing inventory costs and maximizing availability. Up to 1/3 of a plane's weight is fuel. As a pilot, I decide how much fuel my plane carries. Insights into engine efficiency, weather conditions, flight path, and scheduled landings impact my decision. Cortana Intelligence helps me choose the optimal fuel level to maximize efficiency. With 40% of our operating budget devoted to fuel, even a small percentage reduction can save us tens of millions of dollars each year. Microsoft and Rolls-Royce, reaching new heights in customer value.
So, as I said, I think these are truly, truly exciting times. There are many, many examples. I'm sure you're aware of many of them. I've just shown you 4 very brief ones this morning about how technology can make a difference. As I said, digital transformation isn't something that's going to be happening to us anytime soon in the future. Digital transformation is something that's been happening for a while. It's here now. It's a reality. And I think what I would urge you all to do, it's something that we are doing all of the time, and we're keen to work with all of you, whether you be a partner, customer, a consumer, to think about what technology can do in our world together to make the world a better place, and to make the world a reality in terms of digital transformation. I think from a leadership point of view, I'd suggest that this is a luxury today and tomorrow, spending some time to envision what difference your businesses can make. I've tried to give you a little bit of an insight into the difference our business is trying to make. And from a leadership point of view, what difference can we each make as leaders to make sure that using technology shapes the world for the better? So let's start imagining what's possible with technology. I think you've been doing that for a while. We've been doing that for a while. It's going to be an exciting journey, an exciting ride. Thanks again for your partnership, your attention, for joining us at the conference. Do enjoy the next 2 days. Have a fantastic conference. Thank you very much.